I think reading is cool. Reading is for hot people, so like, you know, do with that what you will. The topic of today's video is 5 books that you need to read. I'm going to be sharing 5 books that I've read over the past few years, and hopefully I can persuade you to read them. Just to preface, these books do contain sensitive content that might be difficult for some to talk about or read about, so definitely do your research, look up the trigger warnings on this book. Before I start sharing the books, I just want to say that I was never a book girly. Even when I was younger, I never had the attention span for it, and honestly what kind of made it worse was that the elementary school that I was going to at the time had 2 book reports a month, and that's honestly kind of where I learned how to wing it. Don't do that. Make sure you do your book reports. When quarantine and the pandemic came around, that's when my love for books was sort of reborn, and I was actually a bookworm. I could not put down a book, and I've never put down a book since, hence the video. With that being said, anyone can be turned into a bookworm. You just need to find the right book. Which brings me to my first book, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This one was really good. A brief synopsis: this book follows Nora. She is kind of having a difficult time in her current life. She's very unhappy with everything, and she decides to overdose on a set of prescription pills. She then reaches a state between life and death, which is called the Midnight Library. In this library, there are an infinite amount of books, infinite amount of shelves, with each book containing a different reality of Nora's life if she had chosen differently. For example, Nora's dream career was to become a glaciologist, but in her current life she didn't pursue that. But there's a book in the library that contains that reality of her life if she did pursue it. I think this book really does a great job of exploring like the what if, because I know we've all thought about it. I know we've all thought like, hey, like what if I did this instead of that? Or what if I chose a different college? Would I be happier? Would I be not happy? Would I enjoy college as much as I do if I chose another college? It's a really great concept, and I thought it did a really great job of teaching the reader how to be grateful for what you have currently and to not take it for granted. It's really interesting, and I do recommend this book. Definitely 5 out of 5 stars. For the next book, I don't have the physical copy, but I did read it digitally, but I will buy the physical copy because it was just that good of a book. Okay, so the next book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've heard mixed reviews about this book, but personally I loved it. This book follows the rise and fall of a band called Daisy Jones and the Six. There are 2 main timelines, one of it being, you know, the start and the making of the band. The second timeline takes place 20 years later after the band had broken up. So it's really interesting, lots of secrets and a love triangle or 2. But yeah, I thought it was a great book. I finished it like that. I love the structure of it. It's kind of like an interview. You know, it says interview and then band member, whatever, and they tell the whole story like that. The different perspectives are really nice. This book is also a TV show. It's same title, Daisy Jones and the Six, and it's available on Amazon Prime. Super amazing, better than my imagination. I loved it. I've rewatched it a lot of times. It's a great show. Love it. Big heart for it. The next book on the list is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager? Not so sure. Anyways, this book is a thriller, and it is crazy. This book follows Jules Larson, and at the moment she's in between jobs, and she had just broken up with her boyfriend. She's kind of homeless, and she's living on her best friend's couch, and she's very desperate to get back on her feet. She stumbles upon an odd advertisement to be an apartment sitter at the most secretive building in New York City called the Bartholomew. She reaches out and agrees to be an apartment sitter. After a few days of living in the apartment, she's noticing strange things, very odd things. Curiosity gets the best of her and she starts digging in the past of the Bartholomew. She finds out that it's more dangerous than she thought. I hope that's a good description without giving too much away, but definitely a good book for sure. I was totally taken aback by the ending of the book. The plot twists are crazy. It's like a mystery. It's like playing Clue, honestly. There were so many theories going on in my head and I was not right, but definitely a good read. Next book on the list is The UnHoneymooners by Christina. This book was great. If you love enemies to lovers, if you like fake dating, this book is for you. This book follows Olive. She is the maid of honor at her twin sister Amy's wedding, or Amy. The wedding goes great except when it hits the reception. Everyone at this wedding gets food poisoning, save the maid of honor and the best man. Since the bride and groom can't go on their beautiful honeymoon, and since Olive is a twin, and the best man and groom are brothers, the best man and the maid of honor go to the honeymoon together. Olive and the best man, they're not very fond of each other, and I just love the banter in here. I read this in a weekend. I was swiping, I was giggling, I was blushing. I was like, oh my god, this book is so cute. I loved all of it. So definitely go read that. Do they end up together? I don't know. Do they fall in love? I don't know. You'll have to find out. Okay, I saved the best for last. Normal People by Sally Rooney. This one, oh my god, guys, I can't, this book, I love it so much. You can't, I can't even describe how I love it. This one is a miscommunication trope. I love this book so much, and I think it's because it's a miscommunication trope, and I think it's because it's so close to reality. Miscommunication in relationships are very common in the real world, you know what I mean? And I think that's why I gravitate towards it. It's very raw and it captures a very deep connection between two people, which I think is really beautiful, but they can never seem to get it right. And I mean, if they only had communicated, I feel like it would have worked out, but it kind of doesn't. And I think what's also beautiful about this book is that they weave in and out of each other's lives. They find themselves together and then they don't. And it's kind of like right person, wrong timing, or right person can never get it right. Right person can't communicate. It's kind of like that. It's kind of heartbreaking. So I think that's why I like it. But this book follows Marianne and Connell. They, class-wise, they're on different sides of the spectrum. Connell, he's well liked in school. He's an athlete. Everyone finds him cool. I guess he's considered popular, but he comes from a middle to low class family and income. While Marianne, no one really likes her. She gets picked on a lot. She's kind of a loner, but she's super wealthy. Connell's mom works as a cleaner at Marianne's house, so that's their connection. A beautiful and complicated love story blossoms between the two, and it's kind of like first love. It's really intense, really deep. Also, this book was put to the screen. It's a TV show on Hulu called Normal People, obviously, and I love it. I love it. I am currently rewatching it right now. And the other day I was at Barnes & Noble, and when I tell you, when I saw this book, I've never bought anything so fast, and I cried, guys. It's Normal People, the scripts. This is basically the script of the TV show, and I'm currently reading it. There's a receipt there as my bookmark, which reminds me I do need to invest in bookmarks. I'm rewatching this show as I'm reading this, so great. Also, Paul Mescal and Daisy, they're the cutest ever. I think reading is cool. Reading is for hot people, so do with that what you will. So that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my book recommendations. I can definitely make this a series because I have tons of books at home. I really like talking about books, if you couldn't tell. So I hope I persuaded you to pick up a book, to read one of these books. Follow me in my Goodreads, follow me on my Instagram, subscribe to this channel, go watch last week's video. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week. Bye!